All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube, this is Pastor Dowell. You know, every once in a while, we have something that comes up or something that happens in ministry that will benefit each and every last one of you who are choosing to walk in the way. Now, at times, the reason, we don't actually share some of the things that are going on in the ministry because it's personal, it's private to us. There are other times when natural family members who are not fond of us compromise the integrity of the ministry by attacking us in some way, shape, fashion, or form, or levying threats against us. Now, we have a confidentiality statement, meaning that if anybody has Pastor Dowell's phone number, cell phone number, personal number, you keep it to yourself because you can only imagine what happens once people get my phone number. And of course, that's all been but true here. I have Elder Rufus. Say shalom, Elder Rufus.
Shalom.
And I also have his wife, Sister Jennifer, on the line. Say hi, Sister Jennifer.
Shalom, blessings, saints.
All right. The reason why we're here today is because they are a whole lot more informed than I am. I received a text message today from Mother Bullock's daughter. And mind you, I'll add this. I have never met her. I have never seen her, or I've never saw her. I've never interacted with her in any way, shape, fashion, or form. But today I received a text message from her, a threatening text message. And at the end of this video, I will read you our conversation, our text conversation, and let you be the judge. Sometimes in the ministry, because too many times more often than not, we have people that will actually be in the ministry and they're doing well. And then for some reason or another, they'll leave the ministry, disgruntled or whatever. And then the first thing they'll do is run to YouTube or social media and start saying negative and derogatory things about us. And they're just literally not true. But there's only one story being told. Now, the Bible teaches that if there's only one side of the story being told, that you need witnesses, 2 or more witnesses. And you shouldn't be believing things just because of what people say. I got a question to ask. Is that you? Do you do that? I'm sure many of you have formed an opinion about me simply because of the internet and YouTube here. But let's ask yourself a question. Have you formed opinion about me, a negative opinion about me, and you really truly have never sat down and talked with me? You never broke bread with me? Does that fit your description? If so, the question would be, why are you that way? Well, anyway, we're here for a particular reason this morning because we all know Mother Bullock. Mother Bullock is a mother here in the ministry. Her husband just passed away a few years ago. And, I did the eulogy and preached the funeral of him. And he's gone on to be with the Most High. And Mother Bullock has been a faithful mother in the ministry. She is the seamstress in the ministry. And when you see us wearing a lot of our Hebrew garments during the feast days, what you see me wearing each Shabbat, Mother Bullock has been the one to actually sew each and every last one of them. Now, the reason why we're here is because her daughter has taken it upon herself to attack me unwarrantedly for no reason whatsoever at all. I have not a clue or idea why she has taken it upon herself to do this. I don't even know how she got my phone number, but apparently she's gotten it. She has it, and she's making use of it. I have Elder Rufus and Sister Jennifer here because there are certain things that's going on that many of you are not aware of. A few years ago, Mother Bullock developed breast cancer, and we didn't know because sometimes you know how a lot of you older people are. You call yourself being personal and private, and there's always something that ends up to your detriment. But anyway, what happened is that at the last moment, and this is what people do, after you've done exhausted all means, be it holistically or using conventional medicine, what people do out in the world then is they want to come to the pastor, come to the elders, or come to the assembly, and they want a miracle to be done in the name of Yahweh. That's what they want, in the name of Jesus. And of course, you're sent to us when the hospitals are finished with you, when the herbal programs are finished with you. Then all of a sudden you want the Most High just to pull a miracle out. And we deal with situations like that all of the time. But the reason why I have Elder Rufus and Sister Jennifer here is because Elder Rufus is the head of the community down there in Straitway, Georgia. And Elder Rufus has been instrumental in ensuring of the care of Mother Bullock. Now, I'm going to make a statement here, and then I want them to correct me if I'm wrong. Mother Bullock lives with on a parcel of land where natural family is. And not only that, natural family has, the right to come and go as they please. But however, every single time something is going on with our mother in the ministry, natural family is usually nowhere to be found as far as caring for her. And the last time that Elder Rufus sent his wife down there, you have to understand, he would send his wife down there sometime for weeks on end to take care of Mother Bullock, and you've got natural family members who live in the same geographical location and area and won't even lift a finger to do nothing for her. That's the reason why Mother Bullock wants to be around the saints. So anyway, here we go. First thing we'll do is we'll start off with you, Elder Rufus, and we'll start off asking you what has happened up to this point and how we got to this point.
All right. I think what was taking place, Pastor, and how we got to this point was one of our sisters ended up getting a phone call or a text message. I do have those text messages that they need to be made available of Mom Bullock requesting housing. He asked her, is there any houses for rent? And she said, I don't know. I'll have to ask Elder about that. So she did. She got the information to me. So, of course, I need more information. And I'm like, well, Mom, now she's trying to move to Georgia, because last I had heard, Mom was looking to move towards the Tennessee Straightway area.
Correct.
And make that long story short, I had connections in my area. So it didn't take but me giving Mom one man's phone number. Now, I didn't call the man. I gave the phone number to Mom. And I said, you call him. He's the guy that I use. And he did, because 13 minutes later, she asked me, can you meet the man at their place on Thursday? And I said, sure. So we secured a house for her because she said she wanted to move in that area. At first, when she made her initial statement, it was supposed to be around Passover. But then she came back with a text saying, if you can find me something before, I'm ready to move immediately. Now, this is before I've sent my wife and anybody else out there to care for her. So we're like, fine. So this thing just developed, and she got a place. And then at that point, I don't remember the exact timing on it, but it wasn't much long after that. That was when we already had it pre-scheduled for Sister Jennifer and Sister Chandra to go out there to help take care of Mom and to see what was really going on with her. And they went out there for a few days, took care of Mom.
Now, Elder Rufus, let me ask you a question. How far of a drive is it from Straightway, Georgia to Wilmington, North Carolina, where Mother Bullock resides?
A little over 10 hours, I believe.
So it's a 10-hour drive. So your wife, Sister Jennifer, and Sister Sandra will take time away from the community, which, Sister Jennifer, it is a necessity that she be there at that community. But your wife, Sister Jennifer and Sister Sandra, you sent both of them to Wilmington, North Carolina to care for Mother Bullock. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And so they get out there, and since we got to Jennifer, I was, let her speak more on what happened at that point. But essentially, we got her out there. She starts to feel a little better. So she's telling us one thing about, of course, we know about the house because we secured it for her. She asked us to get her a place. We did. And I'm just not sure her family knew about that stuff. But I was trying to let Sister Jennifer comment more on that because she had more interaction conversing with Mom Bullock than I did, because I just wanted to make sure that whatever she needed that she had.
Yes, sir.
So when it came to juicers or, just product or oils or her leafy vegetables, because we were doing a juicing thing, everything she needed, we provided. I never once asked Mom Bullock for one dime, not one time.
Now, mind you, these are things that Mother Bullock or a regiment that she's taken upon herself that she wanted to do. Is that correct?
Yes. That would be, well, so Jennifer, you can comment on that. Is that what Mom Bullock wanted to do?
Yes, sir. I suggested an alkaline juice diet to Mother Bullock, in addition with the food that she was already eating, because she was already eating organic. She was eating healthy. And so I suggested that we introduce some, green leafy vegetables, some alkaline juice into her diet. And she agreed with that.
Okay, so before we go any further, Sister Jennifer, let me ask you this right here. Now, Elder Rufus has sent either you or Sister Sandra to Mother Bullock's residence more than this one time that we're speaking about right now. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And, I mean, can you just give us a ballpark figure about how long either you or Sister Sandra would be there caring for Mother Bullock when she has a twin sister that lives behind her, she has another sister that lives with her, and she has natural family members in that area?
I know that there was one particular time after Mother Bullock had surgery, I believe it was about a year ago, Sister Chandra went and stayed for almost a month. It was about 3 weeks that she was there to maintain Mother Bullock's care. And she was there, it was 3 weeks, and then I went to Wilmington, North Carolina after that 3-week period, and I stayed for another week. So there was a 1-month period in which Straightway, Georgia took care of Mother Bullock, even with her family being there close to her, having sisters there and having other family members that were close. Straightway, Georgia was there for a month on her land taking care of her. That was just one instance last year.
Okay, so we're speaking about right now to where you and Sister Jennifer has actually recently made. Can you cut that radio off, please? I'm doing an interview. Has recently made another trip because Mother Bullock, she contacted y'all. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when she contacted y'all, Elder Rufus, can you explain to us what's happening at this time? Because the one thing I would like to know is if she has natural family members that are there in that area that can care for her, then why is she calling Straightway, Georgia? Now, I'm saying this for the audience out there, not for ourselves, because we know the reason why we do what we do. Go ahead, Elder.
Yeah, Pastor, Mom was very, very clear that she did not trust the care. They was not going to make the time, and she did not trust the care that was going to be given and the attention given to her by natural family. And to my knowledge, the statement was even made, going through this entire process that we're speaking on now, once she got to Georgia, because we did go there, stay about 4 days, then bring her back once she felt better. She made a statement to her daughter through text message that, the reason why we're taking care of her because nobody in North Carolina will take the time to take care of her. And the response of her daughter at that time was, "Oh, that's it." So, it was clear and obvious throughout the years, not just, this week or last month or just last year. We've been to North Carolina to visit Mom Bullock to take care of her several times. And when we go to North Carolina, it's always, if it's for Mom in Wilmington, it's to take care of her. So she just didn't have any confidence in her family members spending the time to take care of her.
Okay, so she now, at this particular point right now, and we're not going to go over every single detail, we're just going to deal with recent issues right here. So, Sister Jennifer, you and Sister Sandra at this time have made the trip. You're there in Wilmington, North Carolina. Mother Bullock requested that both of you would take her back to Straightway, Georgia. And can you go ahead and fill us in on the details from there?
Yes, sir. When we arrived in when we arrived in Wilmington, North Carolina, we found Mother Bullock. She was sitting on the couch and she was talking with her daughter, Nikki. Her daughter was there when we arrived, and Mother Bullock was in a very weak state.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Now, this Nikki is the one who just sent me these threatening, negative, derogatory text messages, which I'll read at the end of this interview. And this is the whole purpose for this particular interview. I don't know Nikki. I never met Nikki. And Elder Rufus, today, it was the first time ever communicated to me that this woman actually hates me without ever meeting me, sitting down, speaking to me, and talking to me. Is this true?
Yeah, that was information I got. And I got that from conversations from Mom Bullock to the sisters. So actually, I got it from Sister Jennifer, but she got it from Mom Bullock.
All right. So go ahead, Sister Jennifer.
Yes, sir. We found Mother Bullock in a weakened state. She had a pretty bad cough that would not go away, and she was having some just pain in her body. She wasn't able to even lay down. So Sister Chandra and I, we got there. We started the juice. We were asking Mother what she had to eat already and trying to figure out, if she had enough food in her body. And so we just immediately came in and took over her care. We gave her juice, and then Chandra and I went to the store to get more groceries because we knew that we would need more vegetables to be able to juice for her. And when we returned, her daughter Nikki was gone. So from that point, we just cared for Mother. We got up with her during the night because she was unable to sleep.
Well, let me ask one question here real quick, Sister Jennifer. Who paid for this food that y'all went and got for her?
Straightway Georgia paid for the food, sir.
So Straightway Georgia has done had a track record of actually every single time that they make a trip to Wilmington, North Carolina to care for our mother in the ministry. And let me tell all you people out there something. The reason why we do this is because the Bible teaches us that when there are widows in the ministry, indeed, that the ministry itself is chargeable for the care and upkeep of them. And that's why we do what we do. But we do it based on the ability of the people giving us or allowing us the chance and the opportunity to be able to do it. We just don't take this upon ourselves to go and care for people because we're not going to go past anyone's will. My question to you, I want to ask you is how many other ministries do you know out there to where an elder will literally be away from his wives for weeks and months on end in order to take care of a mother in the ministry, and the women will drive 10 hours one way just to get there to actually care for our mother in the ministry, and she has natural family members that live in her own backyard that she can't get anything to do. She can't get them to do anything for her. But anyway, go ahead, Sister Jennifer.
Yes, sir. We did make a trip into town because Mother Bullock's vehicle needed an oil change, and she had like little things that needed to be done, and she did offer up money, for those things. Some things we just didn't even take the money for. So, but the food we paid for. Straightway Georgia paid for the food. We would stay up at night, and we would just be in prayer for Mother Bullock to just have comfort at night. Like I said, we started the juicing fast, and Mother Bullock started to look so much better. Even after us being there from just one day, her countenance was glowing again. She was able to lay flat to actually sleep, which is something that she said she had not done for a long time. She wasn't even sleeping in her bed because it wasn't comfortable. She was, when we got there, she would lean forward to sleep on the couch because of how uncomfortable she was. But after us being there for 2 days, she was able to completely lay flat on the couch, and she got a full night's rest within that time period, which is something that she said she had not done in a very long time.
Okay, so we've got that part right there. So how did Mother Bullock end up back? And I'm going to interject this again. The reason why we're making this video right here, because I'm not able to hear from Mother Bullock. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that someone has gotten my phone number and started text messaging me all this negative stuff. Her daughter. And I tried to call Mother Bullock myself, and it immediately goes to voicemail. So that lets me know that her daughter has control over her phone. So anyway, after that, and you did say that Nikki was sitting right there in the living room the time when y'all were there. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. She was sitting there next to Mother Bullock when we arrived in Wilmington. Yes, sir.
So she had no pause or nothing like that concerning you and Jennifer being there?
No, sir. She didn't. As a matter of fact, when I walked in the house, we hugged Mother Bullock. I even gave Nikki a hug. I told her, I said, I've never met you before. My name is Sister Jennifer. And, she hugged me back, and that pretty much was it. There was no ill will that I felt when I walked in the house at all. She was cordial, and we were cordial as well. Okay.
So now we're heading back to Georgia. So how did y'all get to the point that Mother Bullock requested to go to Straightway, Georgia?
Mother Bullock had texted Sister Chandray in the middle of the night. This is before we actually went to Wilmington, and said that she needed us to come right away because she felt like she was very sick and she wasn't going to make it. I had to kind of go back a little bit. Mother Bullock's desire was to move to Straightway, Georgia. She said before Passover. As her sickness started to progress, she wanted to move the date up even further. She wanted to get as close to Georgia as possible, as soon as possible. So when we got to Wilmington, Mother and I were discussing, and I said, Mother, it doesn't make sense for us to come here and to do the juicing and take care of everything, and then for us to go back, and I said it would make sense if you're planning on moving to Georgia. I said, when are you ready to move? And she said that she was ready to move as soon as possible. So she said that it made sense for her to come back with us, and that was the discussion that we had. So I asked her, I said, well, how many days do you think you'll need? We arrived on the first day of the week, and Mother Bullock said, I'll be ready to go by fourth day. And I said, okay, yes, ma'am, because she had things that she had to get in order. I guess she had people that she needed to speak with, and her affairs that she had to get in order there. So Mother Bullock said that by fourth day she would be ready to come back. So that was a total of, I think, 3 days that we were there. So that's how we got to the point where she was ready to come back so fast.
Okay, so mind y'all, now I'm going to go back here a little bit. I'm going to digress just a little bit, because prior to all this taking place, Mother Bullock and Mother Newkirk came to Straightway here in Tennessee. And of course, whenever the older people, they come here to the community, they stay in my house right here in our guest room. And that's just the way we do things here. We follow the Bible says when you go into a city, you inquire thereof who is worthy, and there abide. So when a lot of times when the Israelites come to visit, they stay here on the land with us the whole entire time. And she actually did a Sisters to Sisters broadcast. Her and Mother Newkirk did about a month ago. Now let's go back again. So now we're in Georgia. Elder Rufus is calling me, and he's and I'm calling him, and he's giving me updates on Mother Bullock's condition. I will call him as well and say, so how's she doing now? And of course, Elder Rufus will say, Pastor, she got to the point now where she can't hardly move. Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Elder Rufus. Can you fill us in on that, in that order?
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was. Now, she had got to the point where it was pretty bad for her. And it just something wasn't right. You know what I mean? And that's when the things really got exposed, because I started pressing in myself just in prayer and trying to figure out what is going on with our mother, Father, what's really truly going on with her. And that's when I remembered Mom Bullock mentioning a sore. She kept talking about a sore or something like that. Not while she was in Georgia. I mean, this had been said, in the past, like the past few weeks before that or whatever.
Correct.
And so I remember being at work, and I remember calling. And I asked Jennifer, I said, what does this sore look like that Mom Bullock is referring to? And of course, she started repeating to me the same conversation that I already knew. And I said, no, I want to see the sore. Go take a picture. He said, I'll have Chandray take a picture.
All right, now mind you, Elder, before all this took place when you was telling me about Mother Bullock's condition. I remember asking you, I said, brother, does she mind going to the hospital? Is she considering going to the hospital? And at that time, you gave me the answer from her that she says, no, she does not want to go to the hospital. Is that correct?
Correct. At that time, she had made the statement she did not want to go to the hospital.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. But that's glad you remember that, Pastor, brought that up, because I believe her mind, well, not believe, I know for a fact, her mind changed after we figured out what this sore was.
So what was this sore?
That sore ended up actually being a tumor. Because when I got my wife to take a picture of it, she got Sister Chandra to take a picture of it and got it to me, I was like, you got to be kidding me. That's a tumor the size of a darn tennis ball or grapefruit or something, you know. And the first thing that came out of Mom Bullock's mouth is, oh, man, they're going to make me go to the hospital. That was the report that came back to me. So then what I did was I had Chandra go in and ask her. This was a little later. I said, you need to go ask her, especially now that it's been exposed of what really is going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said, ask her, does she want to go to the hospital? And when she went and asked her then, that's when Mom Bullock agreed to go to the hospital then. And that's when we took her to the hospital.
Okay, so now Mother Bullock is at the hospital, and we're not going to go through every detail. We're just going to deal with the main points of this. Okay, she's at the hospital. We have Sister Melinda, another sister, Straightway, Georgia. We have Sister Jennifer and Sister Sandra. You are constantly rotating sisters to stay with her while she's there in the hospital. Is this correct?
Yeah, the first mission when we took her, I believe it was Sister Chandra and Sister Melinda went, and I think they stayed for the first 2 days. They actually stayed until Mother Newkirk and the other sister that lives in the house with Mom Bullock, I forget her name, but that sister that lives in the house with her and Mom Newkirk showed up 2 days later, and then that's when I told them sisters they could be relieved. But they stayed there a full 2 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Did Sister Hadassah, was she there at any time?
Sister Jennifer, was she?
No, sir. Sister Hadassah was not. Sister Charita did come.
Oh, Charita was the one who put in there. Yeah, Charita.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at the hospital right now. That's where we're at. And I think that the doctors has pretty much given her a diagnosis after all these checks. Now, mind you, Mother Bullock has already had breast cancer, which she did not communicate that to anyone in the ministry. I've already stated that earlier. Come to find out, we end up with a scathing medical report that when you hear it, it almost makes your heart just literally fall down to the bottom of your feet. Which one of you care to actually give the medical report?
Well, I'll talk about it, Pastor.
Go ahead.
It wasn't good at all. And again, us finding out this tumor that Mom never disclosed to us really changed things, because when she agreed to go, part of my conversation, you know, through the sisters to Mom was, look, Mom, you've already submitted yourself to the medical system a year or so ago when you got your breast cut off. They gave you instructions to go get chemo, go get this, and you didn't do any of that. So now, here it is, you've had this, because they can only cut out so much of the cancer. So now you've had all this cancer in your body for over a year that's just been growing and getting worse. And now you're at this stage. And see, all of this natural stuff that you're trying with your food and the juicing, that stuff could help you if you were in stage 1, 2, 3, maybe even an early stage 4. But you're actually not even in a stage, Mom. I said, you're terminal, because you got these full-blown tumors everywhere all through your body. I mean, they said that her left lung was 100% cancerous, and her right one had 15 to 20 tumors, and her brain had swelling on it, but there were tumors all over her brain and all in her chest. And I mean, it was they, and then Mom at the same time, she was getting this report from the doctors there. Of course, this is just from, the body scan, the CAT scans, and the MRIs. Mom had refused biopsy She had refused any kind of, the scans they do on your head, the radiation or chemo. She had refused all of that. And the doctor just told her that it's flat out terminal. And I said, you submitted yourself to the system back there, Mom, and you didn't do any of that. Now you're in a terminal state, and you want us to produce a miracle on something, and that's not how it works. I said, you're going to have to submit yourself fully to the system because you've already done it. And that's where everything gets haywire, because you got Mom refusing the things that are needed once you have cancer on the level she has. You've got to have biopsies to see what kind of cancer it is, and you're going to have some kind of treatment. Even if they can cut some of it out, you're going to need radiation, you're going to need chemo to get the rest of it, and to even try. And she wasn't willing to do any of that while she was here in Georgia. Okay,
so now we're at the point where Mother Newkirk is there, a couple of family members, and her daughter, Nikki, the one who hates me for some reason. I don't know why. I've never met her, never done anything to her to actually for her to develop an attitude of hate. I'd like to know, is that some of you out there? If it is, why? But anyway, so we have her, Nikki is apparently is going to be coming up on the weekend. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, so go ahead and fill us in on this right here, Sister Jennifer, about Nikki coming up on the weekend, and also go into how that Mother Newkirk requested for y'all to come back up and sit with her for a while while pending Sister Nikki coming up.
Yes, sir. We had I received a text message from Mother Newkirk saying that Mother Newkirk and her other sister Marilyn had to return back to Wilmington that very same day. Mother Newkirk said that they were going to leave at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and they needed someone to sit with Mother Bullock until the daughter Nikki arrived. She said that Nikki should arrive at around 2 p.m. So I asked Elder if that was okay, and he said, yes, that's fine. I sent Sister Melinda and I sent Sister Charita to the hospital room to sit with Mother Bullock. They were there until about, I believe Nikki arrived at about 3 o'clock. It may have been 3:30. I'm not sure of the exact time. But they were there until that time, watching after Mother, making sure that Mother had what she needed, making sure that everything was documented, because when we go to the hospital with saints, we don't just go and sit. We actually document everything. We make sure that everything is in order. So that's what they were there to do, to make sure that Mother's interest was protected. So Nikki arrived at about 3 o'clock or 3:30. The report that I was given was that Nikki arrived with a very foul attitude. And the sisters left right away. As soon as Nikki arrived, the sisters left to come home because of the aroma that Nikki's attitude was pretty much giving off. And that was the last time that we saw Mother Bullock.
And so let me see. In between all of this, the doctors are suggesting to her that she needs to have a biopsy done, and they don't have to go inside of her in order to get the biopsy because of the tumor that is protruding outside of her flesh. They could take it from there, and that they needed her to stay there at the hospital for 7 days until the actual results come back. Is that correct?
That's
yes,
what we were
sir,
saying.
that is correct.
Now, Mother Bullock at this time, is this right, Elder Rufus? And the reason why I got all this down, because I've been constantly informed by Straightway Georgia what's going on. So at this time, Mother Bullock is kicking and fighting, stating how that she is not going to stay there. She's getting up out of the hospital and she's leaving. And the first thing I asked Elder Rufus was this: Elder, can she walk? Can she even go to the bathroom on her own? Go ahead, Elder Rufus. What said you?
And my response to you was no. They had to put a toilet right next to her bed. I said, in my opinion, from everything that I'm getting, every report I'm getting from the sister, she is in no condition to be trying to leave or that hospital or trying to travel, especially 10 hours to North Carolina. But apparently with that daughter of hers there, all that changed, and, you know, she's back in North Carolina now.
Okay. Now, before all that, you and I had already discussed, and we got message to Mother Bullock, that myself and Sister Carol was coming from Tennessee, going down to Georgia. Now, that doesn't sound like a big hop and a skip, except the only difference is I live at the other end of Tennessee. I live closer to the border, Kentucky, within a few miles. So I'm getting ready to travel 4.5 to 5 hours to Georgia to go visit Mother Bullock. And I had to do Shabbat service. And then after taking care of a few things, I figured that she was going to be there for the 7 days to wait on the results of the biopsy. Sister Carol and I is now on the road. Monday morning, we're on the road and we're heading down there, and we get a phone call. Sister Carol is out on the road right now taking care of some community logistics. We get a phone call. I'm stopped at the gas station. I'm getting gas. Carol informs me that Mother Newkirk called her. And once I get back in the vehicle, she says, honey, Mother Bullock is back in Wilmington, North Carolina. I said, she's where? Back in Wilmington, North Carolina. I said, and of course, Carol told her, we're on our way down there because we're assuming that she's going to be either going back to North Carolina on Tuesday, which would have probably been the 7 days in order for her to get the results in of the biopsy. But apparently her daughter, Nikki, who Jennifer stated came in with a foul spirit, decided to take her mother up out of the hospital and took her back to North Carolina. Sister Carol and I are halfway there. We get this information. Nobody informed us. Nobody told us that this is what's getting ready to take place, because we're all assuming that she's going to wait on the results of the biopsy. And so we get halfway there, and we had to turn around and come back. Mind you, I asked Sister Carol, after speaking with Mother Newkirk, Mother Bullock was monitoring this, and telling, you know, Sister Carol said, well, we're prepared to come to Georgia, but we're not prepared right now because we didn't pack to come to Wilmington, North Carolina. And so I said, well, we're just going to turn around and go back home. And that's exactly what we did. We turned around, we went back home, and I asked Carol, I said, did anybody even say that they are sorry for the miscommunication or anything? Like, she says, nobody said anything about that at all. So anyway, here we are. A brand new day has dawned upon us, which is today. I'm talking with Elder Rufus, and I say, Elder Rufus, guess what I just got finished receiving? I just got finished receiving a text message. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to stop this particular video right here on this phone for my backup, and let's just hope that this one takes. I'm going to actually go over the actual text message that was sent to me, unsolicited. First of all, this woman should not even be having my phone. This is Mother Bullock's daughter, Nikki. And the text message goes like this. This Mother Bullock's daughter, Nikki. I want to make myself clear. Big capital letters. In case you see it. Big capital letters. Do not contact my mother ever again. You and your cult members nearly killed her. And if any of you come to North Carolina looking for again, I will have you all arrested. And if you think I'm just talking, please try me. My mother is done with you all. She may be gullible to think y'all made a mistake, but I am not. You can't tell me 2 drops versus 30 drops is an easy mistake. I'm going to stop right there for a second. Can either one of you, Sister Jennifer or Elder Rufus, tell me what is she speaking about with this 2 drops versus 30 drops? You go first, Sister Jennifer.
Yes, sir. Actually, she has her numbers wrong. And we were giving Mother Bullock aerobic oxygen because when you have oxygen in the body, disease cannot live in the presence of oxygen. So we were giving Mother Bullock aerobic oxygen. We were giving her 20 drops per day in her water. And that's what she was taking. And when we got further direction from Mother Carol said you can increase it to 30. So we were already at 20. We were never at 2 drops. because, the directions don't even say 2 drops. That's just not enough. So we were at 20 drops, and we increased it to 30 drops. And there was actually nothing wrong with that. Mother Bullock was stating that she was getting nauseous sometimes. She even got to the point where she refused to drink the juice that we had made for her because of her stomach was upset. And so what I believe Nikki is talking about is that, she thinks that we were giving 2 drops of oxygen and then we increased it to 30, which is actually untrue.
Okay, so let me explain to the listening audience out there what aerobic oxygen is. Aerobic oxygen is something that you can buy over the counter in any health food store across America or in Canada. It depends on where you want to get it from. It's just like buying vitamins or anything else. It's something that the ministry has always, it's called stabilized oxygen. It is natural, all natural. Sold in stores all across America. This is something that we ourselves for over 20-something years in the ministry has been taken. It's nothing that is prescribed. It's nothing medical. It's nothing. It's just like if you was taking echinacea, if you was taking golden seal, if you was taking a natural herb over the counter, or just like if I'm buying Hernapo right here. I'm buying Hernapo on my own and I decide to take it, and we take it and stuff, just suggestions in order to do it. So I go on with the text message. All right. Also, we're back to Nikki response to me, or her text message to me. Also, since you're so concerned, whose name is on her property, it is mine. I mean what I say. If any of you come for her again, you will feel my full wrath, just as Judy Newkirk, what she is going through right now. Now, I got to ask you a question, Elder Rufus. I remember when she was in the hospital, and you told me that she was terminal. And my statement to you was this: tell Mother Bullock that she needs to do whatever she can to set her affairs in order. What saith you, Elder Rufus?
And that same exact message got sent to Mom Bullock. And one of the things we did was, while her son had came to visit her in the hospital, and we made sure that conversation was brought up in front of him. And then in the course of that, it got brought up that I believe it's this daughter, this Nikki, is an actual, she does this type of stuff, legal paralegal or whatever. She does it for a living. So it's like, oh, well, your sister, your daughter, she can handle all of this. So we stressed to him, make sure when she gets here that she handles all of her mother affairs and makes sure all of her affairs are in order. So we took our hands off of it after that because we found out she did this in a legal capacity. So it's like, hey, let's make sure she does all the legal paperwork as necessary. And we were done with it.
Nikki goes on to say, you got some nerve practicing BS holistic crap on people and brainwashing her to come there for a year. Now, first of all, have we ever prescribed as people actually do any type of practice of any holistic herbal or medicinal medicine at all ever in the history of the ministry of Straightway?
No.
What is this that she's talking about that we got her brainwashed to come there for a year? Anybody? Can you speak to that, Jennifer?
I can speak to that, Pastor Dowell. It's a perception. The brainwashing is, again, this is Mom Bullock not communicating with her natural family of what she desires. We knew that Mom Bullock was desiring to move to Georgia. She never made that known to her natural family. She never made that known to her natural family. So then when they get this information that she's got a house there, she signed a year lease, see, that's the only thing I can think of that the year comes from, because that's the commitment you got to make when you're leasing a house is a year.
Right.
So, and then this holistic, they don't know and understand. So, because Mom doesn't want to do something that they consider to be natural, like going to the doctors and chemo and all that, she don't want to do none of that stuff. She wants to do natural stuff. So that's where they get this holistic, that's where that comment's coming from. But it's from a lack of knowledge is all it is, Pastor.
So basically what they're doing is because they trust in conventional medicine and conventional wisdom, that because we use natural herbs or the herb of the field for the service of man, and obviously Mother Bullock, without our suggestions, chose to go that path on her own. Because I remember when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, she came up here and stayed almost a whole month with myself and Sister Carol. We're not knowing anything that is going on with her whatsoever at all. As a matter of fact, when she comes, she fills up the refrigerator with aloe vera and all kind of stuff. So apparently Mother Bullock has been trying over the years, and she was the one who, I remember her telling me, going to a holistic physician. So she's the one that's doing all this. All y'all are doing is following her orders in what she wants. And then when she can't take it anymore, the natural family is actually trying to charge us by saying we are the ones that is actually giving this stuff to her, when this is the stuff she purchased herself. Is that correct?
You got it, Pastor.
All right. So this says, then Nikki goes on to say in this text message, if you was not man to visit her in Georgia, GA, while I was there, why try to see her Monday? That's exactly why I pulled her out of there. That makes no sense. That is nonsensical. That makes no sense at all. What do you mean, man enough? I assume that what she's doing is saying that I wasn't man enough to come and visit when she was there. Now, mind you, when she came, I guess it was either close to the weekend or on the Shabbat. Now, you know where we at. On Friday night, I have a radio broadcast, and on Sabbath, I'm preaching. And so I don't know what she's talking about, this man enough stuff. Anyway, we just go on with it. And then she goes on to say, you were probably going to, look at this, now she's charging me with death. Look at this. You were probably going there to finish her off. And if I find out you took out insurance on her, I will file an insurance fraud case against you. Elder Rufus, what is she talking about? I have no idea what she is talking about, taking insurance out on her.
That's just another blanket accusation worldly people make, because they think we think like the world. It's a worldly church that don't really care about the member. They'll do all this stuff behind the scenes just so they can collect some money off of them when they die. You know what I mean? Everybody starts fighting over their land, starts fighting over their assets, fighting over insurance monies, all that kind of stuff. And then a lot of these churches in the world, they'll get these old people that they ain't took care of at all. They'll come in at the last minute while they sick and gonna die, get them to sign everything over to the church, and the family like, y'all ain't done nothing for these people. So that's what she's thinking, Pastor. That's where her thought is coming from.
Okay. She goes on to say, if for some reason she tries to contact you all for, let me try this again. If for some reason she tries to contact you all, you better not respond, or feel free to tell her what I said, because I already told I'm not having the mess anymore. This is my response. First of all, y'all know that number one, I ain't having no woman talk to me like that. Period, point blank. And this is my response. Who in the hell are you talking to? I have no clue what you are talking about. But one thing is for sure, I am not the one you talk to like that. She texts back and says, you heard what I said. I respond to her and say, first off, you don't mean nothing to me. But I know for sure you're talking to the wrong person. But just in case you're not, make your threats promises and make them come true, Jezebel. You had better stay in your place on this one. This is Pastor Dowell. I'm making sure I identify since this number come up and I don't even know it on my phone. She responds and says, I know who your fake ass is, and in case you don't know, try me, like I said. And I respond back and says, you're tough over this text, ain't you, dog? Now, of course, dog come from me, calling her dog, like Jesus called that woman a dog. She goes on to say, very good, proving my case. Thank you. You're finished. Words in black and white wins more cases than verbal. I respond, ghetto. You attack me, so be it. What is your name? I say, you attack me, so be it. What is your name? So I can sue your ass. She responds, figure it out. You don't scare me because I'm already building my case against you. And if you were genuine and truly innocent, you would have responded differently. I knew you fake from the beginning. I said, build it. Like I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. But one thing is for sure. I am not the one you're going to be threatening. That is for sure. Your mother is full of cancer. Thanks. I'll make sure she reads this. One more thing. I am done. This is me responding to her. None of you have one thing I want. That is for sure. Let me go ahead and start this video back again on his phone for the backup. I hope everything works just fine. Sister Jennifer, what do you hear in the response of a woman who is a stranger to me and don't even know me, picking up the phone, somehow obtaining my number, and then speaking to me in that tone and in that spirit and that attitude?
I hear utter disrespect. I hear many accusations, and this just goes to show that when a woman does not respect a man on any level, this is a married woman. Mother Bullock has told me that her daughter Nikki is married. So this is a married woman. But when a married woman has no problem speaking to a man like this, you have major, major issues, because there's no fear, no respect, no fear for holiness whatsoever. They don't even know what godliness is at all. And there's no order in their life. There's no desire for order. So for a woman to speak to a man like this is totally wrong, totally out of order. It's
inappropriate.
It's just, yes, it's completely inappropriate. And to not even to take such a haughty approach, and to not even ask questions, but to just assume, to go based on assumptions and then accuse based on assumptions, and to be so puffed up, you'll never get anywhere like that at all. And that's why, the Father is resisting, because he resists the proud. So there's no way that he can work in that situation, because it's full of pride.
I do want to volunteer that I did pick up the phone and I called Mother Bullock, and it went directly to voicemail. Now, we'll go ahead and end this particular video on this, because after all, again, I'll say it again, the reason why we're doing this is because we want you out there to understand and comprehend that just because someone runs the social media and just because someone levy accusation and charges against us doesn't mean that they're true. People do this all of the time. I told you once, I said it 1,000 times, that I made a promise that I will, when we get a response like this, we will answer them at every single level, so you can see exactly what's going on. Because like I said before, many of you people out there are being used. You're being gamed by offended people. Just because they have displaced feelings and emotions, you let them run wild with it, and off you go, assuming and taking their side. And don't get me wrong, I could care less what you choose to believe. That's your prerogative. I'm not trying to gain or win anyone. This is mainly for the saints right here, to see what happens when you're dealing with natural people and not really truly burning those bridges when they become an offense to you. Elder Rufus, what said you about this experience again, and what do we constantly say about when you don't break the soul ties against these evil, visceral, natural family members who will not allow you to do what you deem right with your own personal life?
I'm grateful to the Father for the learning experience, Pastor, but, again, we do hammer and preach and holler and scream and proclaim how important it is to break these soul ties. It does not matter who it is with, because here's one of the things that's going to take place. When you do not break these soul ties, you're going to have conversations with them that you don't have with us. And you're going to have conversations with us that you're not having with them. You understand what I'm saying? You can't mix the two. It's not possible. One is holy, one is unholy. One is righteous, one is unrighteous. One is clean, one is unclean. You cannot mix the two. So here it is, you trying to compete, appease these people, and they're on a carnal, natural level, and you're going to speak to them on that level. Then here it is, you're trying to walk with us, and we're on a spiritual level, and you're going to try to speak spiritual to us. And when the two paths collide, you're going to be the one caught in the middle, with everybody on both sides looking at you crazy. So this is what I've learned so much about this. Because I guarantee it, Mom has had to have conversations with them that she ain't having with us, and conversations with us that she's not having with them. All because we can't break soul ties with people. All because we can't break. See, we've done it. We are an example. Pastor Dowell, myself, we are examples of people doing it. You're not going to hear this kind of stuff when it's time for us to go be with the Father. You ain't going to hear this kind of stuff. But the people that are with us are the ones, hey, like the Messiah said, who is your mother and who is your brother? Those that do the will of the Father. Them are the ones you care about. Them are the ones you care about, because them are the ones that's showing you by their daily actions that they care about you too. And when you mix these two, it's going to end bad and it's going to be really ugly.
You know, all you people out there that are listening, you have to understand that we're humans just like you are. We feel, we have emotions, we love, we have ups, we have downs. But every single time, and I know what Satan is trying to do, every single time we come up on a situation like this, we have to deal with challenges of withdrawing ourselves from some of you who refuse to break soul ties with these uncouth, Jezebelic, effeminate women or natural family members who are contrary to the word. My wife or any of the wives in the whole of the ministry of Straightway, you will never, ever catch them texting another man or speaking to another man like the way that this woman just got finished texting and trying to speak to me. It would never, ever happen. But see, this speaks to the social disorder. And this also speaks to the moral decline and the spiritual bankruptcy that we're in. That people can just fly off the lip and say anything that they want and just let it rip and think they're not going to be checked or challenged back. It's sad because we are a ministry that we believe in total honor and total respect until you dishonor and disrespect. And then when we respond, the first thing that some of you undiscerning, uncouth people do is point the fingers at the response. Does this, or is this what I'm saying, fit some of you? It's just a sad situation. Sister Jennifer, we'll go ahead and give you one more statement here, and Elder Rufus, we give you the last word. But I tell you, in this day and hour, whenever sickness come up on some of these older people who have a worldly mind, they totally become unbearable almost to deal with, because they end up becoming very demanding, and they end up thinking things should be ran a certain way and done a certain way, which if they were in their strength, they wouldn't be thinking that way. And they don't have any idea that the only thing they're doing is they're challenging the Israelites, challenging the people to withdraw, wanting to even help them. That's the reason why so many people put older people in the nursing homes, because they become unbearable to even deal with. But Sister Jennifer, what I want to say, and I want you to get the word on this. You're also the co-host of Sisters broadcast every Thursday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time at blogtalkradio.com/straightway. But Sister Jennifer, what do you think is really truly going on in the mind of a woman that she can actually, and also what kind of man is she married to for her to actually pick up a phone, text a man, or even pick up a phone and talk to a man in that type of tone and that type of visceral emotion and that type of attitude? Finish that. Say that one more time.
I think she's married to a weak man with no control, no rule over his own home. Because a real man would not even allow his wife to speak in that manner. That type of speech and behavior would not even be in her heart at all. So it has to be a weak man with no control over his home whatsoever. And she is allowed to run the home. She's allowed to pretty much do whatever she wants. And that's the spirit of a woman that will destroy her home. And if you let her, she'll destroy your home too if you don't break those soul ties, if you know a woman like that.
Elder Rufus, what does a video like this being communicated to the court of public opinion, what type of benefit is it not only for us in the ministry, but also for the people that out there that are probably listening?
Well, it gives you a focal point. It gives you something to draw from, Pastor, and it gives you something to really check your own heart and spirit up against. And you need to see it from a standpoint that, especially because remember, Pastor, at the beginning of this is really truly for the saints. I'm speaking to the saints. And you really need to check it against yourself because, these are learning experiences. So if you don't change your ways, yours is probably not going to end up like this because we will be wiser and we will be more smart when we deal with these situations in the future. Because people are going to be people, so we still expect you to act this way. You know what I mean? But you should take these situations and say, man, the Father loves us enough to put this out here and present this to us so we can see the wickedness that goes on in our hearts when we try to keep these type of relationships. You know what I mean? That we should really, it should just really cause us. I was talking this morning, Pastor, about staying humble and being content. And I think we just lose a lot of that coming into the faith. And people lose the humility, they lose the contentment. So really what they end up losing is the backing of Yah. But this should put you in a humble state when you hear this. And you should be thankful that the Father's exposed you to this. But you should make sure, like when I hear this stuff, I'll be like, uh-oh, that definitely ain't going to be me. Nope, thank you, Father. That is not going to be my story. That's what it should do.
I really think it's unfortunate because Mother Bullock has been a faithful mother here in the ministry, has been a great help as an older woman, a widow, to many younger women in the ministry. Just like I said, if you go back no more than a few weeks, you'll hear her voice and Mother Newkirk's voice on Sister broadcast giving out wisdom to the younger daughters of Zion. It's very unfortunate because the way things are shaping up right now, that let's just say the day is going to come where she's going to pass one day anyway. That she passes, now the natural family members have done everything they can to make sure that they block us from being able to give our mother a proper homecoming. What say you, Elder Rufus?
Yeah, that's the route that is normally ends up getting. And we've been there before. Had to deal with it before, and it's just sad. It's just sad. I really wish us saints would take the right spiritual, mental approach to this stuff and deal with this while it's right here in our face personally. But some of us, we love our grannies, we love our children, we love our mamas, we love our girlfriends, we just love all these folks even though they hate Yah.
No matter how wicked they are. I said no matter how wicked they are.
Yeah, you just love them, and no matter how wicked they're going to be, you just choose to love them, and that's your problem, because that's the side you're going to end up on. You're going to end up in a position here where your real true family cannot be your real true family.
All right. With that said, Elder Rufus, Sister Jennifer, I appreciate y'all taking time out of y'all busy schedule, making this particular interview, this video conference call right here in order to edify the body of Christ. Both of y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Yes, you do the same.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Well, Pastor Dowell, what is the reason for this? Again, it's a learning tool because, you see, there are all kinds of situations that are going on. Anytime someone comes to this ministry, and let me give you what we teach. We teach that people should keep the commandments. And for that, Christians and the rest of the world don't even trouble us, but the Christians, the religious people, they call us a cult. What did Jesus say? Is this one of you? Are you like that? We teach that our women should be holy and have a modest, meek, humble, and quiet spirit. What is wrong with that? We also teach that men should be the actual head of their homes. They should be the providers of their home. They should make sure that their homes are protected. They should make sure that their wives and their children are receiving proper care, and that they, being the priest of their home, make sure that they are the ones that are charged for making sure that they keep a right relationship with God. What is wrong with all this? What is wrong with all this? Do some of you out there have this kind of attitude towards Pastor Dowell or the ministry of Straightway simply because you have family members that are seeking to come this way? I mean, from what I've seen, we are more serious about this walk than anybody I have ever met. I have not met everybody, but all the people I've ever met, I have not seen anyone that comes anywhere near close to us when it comes to sacrifice for the Most High Yah, when it comes to living set apart and being serious minded and doing what that Bible says. Why does this offend some of you? I think the problem right here, and especially when all the Israelites hear this, because, you know, just on the feast days long, we have 400, close to 500 people that's going to be here for Passover. Chances are Mother Bullock is not going to be here. Mother Bullock is the one who sews the garments for all of us here in this ministry right here. She's a seamstress. And now that everybody's hearing this message, can you imagine how the people who have developed relationships with her is going to feel? Can you imagine just by listening to this and knowing that today, then the chance is, especially being in conventional medicine with radiation, you know what radiation does to the body. You know what chemotherapy does to the body. You all do. It kills the immune system. She's going to probably end up passing on, and none of us will be invited to actually help bury our mother. I think that's the sad part with all the Israelites. But nevertheless, so be it. What Elder Rufus is stressing amongst this again, when you have wicked natural family members just like this, it's amazing. They don't live anything. And you know that ain't no modest woman when you look at the way that she was talking to me. Again, I'll tell you again, none of our women would ever do that with any man in this world. Would never even presume to overstep and pass her husband up to talk to a man like that. And when she meets a man ain't going to be talked to like that. But it's utterly amazing. Utterly amazing. Many of you don't even keep the commandments. You don't live anything. You follow every pagan practice there is in the world that will cause you to burn. I don't care what your justification is. The Most High is not going to deal with no coexistence with other gods. You can forget it. He ain't dealing with it. You can keep your Christianity or you're worshiping all these plethora of gods. Christmas, Easter, and Sunday. I ask you for your own self. Pick up your Bible. Do your own due diligence. Study the same way you would when you come over here and you check out to see if the things I'm saying are trying to prove me wrong, because I'm still going to be waiting. I ain't holding my breath. Do the same thing with what you're in and see if what they got is real. And I tell you, you ever seen that movie, The Matrix? Man, I tell you, the first thing you got to do is deal with yourself. And you're not going to like what you see. Anyway, it's very unfortunate. You just heard the truth and the true straight way. I hope you all have a wonderful day and that you learned something. The King is coming.